previous lesson video, I've shown you how to get the probability of an event. Just like in the example which I gave you, when tossing a coin twice. Consider these possible outcomes. What is the probability of getting exactly one head? Merong dalawang outcomes na may exactly one head. So we write 2/4. Since the cardinality of the sample space is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the probability of a specific event, which is getting exactly one head. Today, we will still be dealing with probabilities, but this time, it's a probability distribution. It means that for a certain experiment, we will make a table showing the probability in every event. Merong isang table at naka-indicate doon isa-isa yung mga probabilities ng mga events. Let us consider this experiment again. This is what we call the probability distribution table. Let us consider the variable x as the number of heads. Again, considering this experiment and these possible outcomes, let us complete this probability distribution. What is the probability of getting 0 number of head? Out of these possible outcomes, ilan dyan ang wala ni isang head? There is 1. So we write here 1/4 because there are 4 possible outcomes. Next, what is the probability of getting exactly one head? There are 2. HT and TH. So we write here 2/4. And lastly, what is the probability of getting exactly 2 heads? There is only 1. We write here 1/4. So this is now the probability distribution of this experiment. I hope you're getting the idea. Now these are the 2 important properties of discrete probability distribution. The first one is the probability of each event is between 0 and 1 only, or greater than or equal to 0 but less than or equal to 1. Look at the first probability in this table. Between 0 and 1 ba ang 1/4? Yes. How about 2/4? Between 0 and 1 din ba siya? Also yes. Lastly, 1/4. Of course. So this probability distribution table satisfies the first property. How about the second property? The sum of the probabilities of the value must be equal to 1. So if you're going to add all of this, the sum must be equal to 1. Otherwise, there's something wrong with your work. Let's check. 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 1/4. Since they are similar fractions, you can just add the numerators. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. Then just copy the denominator. It's 1. So again, this probability distribution table satisfies the second property. So these 2 properties are very important. Let's have another example. Here you are asked to construct the probability distribution if a fair coin is tossed 3 times and the variable x represents the number of heads. If you're going to construct a tree diagram, it goes like this. So these are the sample points. There are 8 sample points. Let us now construct the probability distribution. What is the probability of getting 0 number of head? So out of these possible outcomes, ilan dyan ang walang head? There is only 1. So we write here 1/8. Why 8? Because there are 8 possible outcomes. Next, the probability of getting exactly 1 head. 1, 2, and 3. So there are 3 out of 8 possible outcomes. Next, the probability of getting exactly 2 heads. 1, 2, and 3. So we have 3 over 8. And lastly, the probability of getting exactly 3 heads. There is only 1. So we have 1 over 8. So this is now the probability distribution when tossing a fair coin thrice. Now let's check if the sum of these probabilities is equal to 1. 1/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 1/8. We get 8 over 8 or 1. So this probability distribution satisfies the properties of discrete probability distribution. Let's have another example. The following data give the number of cars observed waiting in line at the beginning of 2-minute intervals between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. on a certain Friday at a drive-in teller in Westwood Savings Bank with the corresponding frequency of occurrence. Find the probability distribution of the random variable x, where x denotes the number of cars observed waiting in line. Let me just describe the situation to you. Sa drive-in teller daw sa Westwood Savings Bank, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., inalam nila yung bilang ng nakapila every 2 minutes. Kunyari, sa first 2 minutes, ilan yung nakapila? And after 2 minutes, again, ilan na naman yung nakapila? I hope the situation is clear to you. In this example, the data were already given. May interval daw na walang nakapila. 2 beses yan nangyari sa loob ng 3 to 5 p.m. Meron ding isa lang yung nasa pila. And 9 beses yan nangyari sa loob ng 3 to 5 p.m. Meron namang 2 yung nakapila. At nangyari siya 16 times. So, kada 2 minutes, binibilang nila kung ilan yung nakapila. How are we going to construct now the probability distribution table? Get first the total number of frequency. So, you have to get the sum of this. It's 60. Okay, let's start with this. What is the probability of 0 number of cars observed waiting in line? Simply get the frequency of occurrence, which is 2, and the total number of frequency. So we write 2 over 60. Next, 9 over 60, 16 over 60, 12 over 60, 8 over 60, 6 over 60, 4 over 60, 2 over 60, and lastly, 1 over 60. Does this table satisfy the 2 properties of discrete probability distribution? Yes, because the probability of each event is between 0 and 1 only. And at the same time, the sum of these probabilities is 60 over 60 or 1. Okay? This time, we will be dealing with cumulative probability distribution. This is different from the previous one because the cumulative probability distribution is convenient when we are interested in finding the probability over a range of values rather than a specific value. Say for example, let us consider again this experiment, tossing a coin twice. Say you are asked to get the probability of getting at least 1 head. So there is a range this time. Since the keyword is at least, it means that these outcomes are included kasi may at least 1 head. Kasi when we say at least, ibig sabihin siya yung pinakamababa. So pwede pang tumaas. So kasali yung 2. So to get the probability of getting at least 1 head, you have to add this probability and this probability. So 2 over 4 plus 1 over 4, we get 3 over 4. The probability of getting at least 1 head is 3/4. I hope you're getting my point. Okay, let us make use of the same example. tossing a fair coin 3 times. And these are the probabilities, right? Let us now complete the cumulative probability distribution table. By the way, this is the symbol for at most. This is the symbol for at least, and lastly for. Okay? Let us try this first table. What is the probability of getting at most 0 number of head? At most, ibig sabihin siya na yung pinakamataas. Since siya na yung pinakamataas, hindi na natin i-consider itong 1, 2, and 3. And wala namang mas mababa pa sa kanya kung titingnan natin tong table na to. That's why we write here 1/8. Next, what is the probability of getting at most 1 head? Again, since at most 1 head, hindi natin i-consider itong 2 and 3 kasi siya na dapat yung pinakamataas. So, pwede natin i-consider yung 0. So, we simply add 1/8 and 3/8. We get 4/8. Next, what is the probability of getting at most 2 heads? Since it's at most 2 heads, we will not consider anymore this one. We simply add 1/8, 3/8, and 3/8. So 1/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 is 7/8. And lastly, what is the probability of getting at most 3 heads? We simply add these probabilities. 1/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 1/8, we get 8/8. I hope you're getting the idea. Next, let us complete this second table. This time, the symbol that is present is at least. So, what is the probability of getting at least 0 number of head? When we say at least, siya yung pinakamababa. So, pwede natin i-consider ang 1, 2, and 3. So, we have to add all these probabilities. 1/8 plus 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 1/8, we get 8/8. Next, what is the probability of getting at least 1 head? So, since at least 1 head, pwede yung 2 and 3. So, we add 3/8, 3/8, and 1/8. So, we get 7/8. Next, what is the probability of getting at least 2 heads? At least 2 heads. So, pwede yung 3. Add 3/8 and 1/8, we get 4/8. And lastly, the probability of getting at least 3 heads. Wala namang nang itataas pa siya. Kung at least, hindi pwede ang 0, 1, and 2 kasi nga at least 3. Ibig sabihin siya na daw yung pinakamababa na number. So, we simply copy 1/8. So, when constructing cumulative probability distribution, it is not necessarily that the sum of these probabilities must also be equal to 1. So, that's it for this lesson video. I hope you were able to understand the topic. Thank you for listening.